Good day, everybody. My name is Frosty 8536. Well, that's my call sign, my nickname. But to those of you who don't know my real name, it's Shark Hackard. I guess I'm the owner, CEO, or sole proprietor of Homefront. Homefront Gaming, Homefront Music. Something that is a starter from my side, but you would have noticed that if you've watched any of my videos, the Homefront logo, as you can see at the bottom right hand side, and everything else. Yeah. So what I want to do today is do a bit of a retrospective of 2025 and what everyone can expect for 2026. The day of recording of this is the 1st of January 2026. So I just thought it would be a great idea for everybody to hear what's happened in 2025, and just a rundown of what happened, and then also to let you know what you could expect in 2026. Just a bit of a disclaimer. A lot of the things that you're going to hear about that has happened to me over 2025 is 100% real. But the reason why I'm doing this and sharing my story is not to accuse people of anything or defame anyone, because that's the last thing that I want to do. The reason why I'm doing this is twofold. First of all, it's to share my story. So if anybody is having a similar walk or has gone through a similar journey, you can either maybe learn from it, or maybe give me advice on what to do. I'm very open to advice from anybody. So if you've been through it, let me know, or been through something similar, leave me a comment. We can get in contact with each other, or if you are any stage at where I was in 2025, if you want any kind words or words of advice, I'm always there. Right. And then the second reason why I want to do this is that I want this as a footnote to remind myself of what has happened in 2025, where I am at the beginning of 2026. So then at the end of the year, when I do the same thing, we can see how much progress I've made and if I've done it. So you can consider this video as a bit of a New Year's resolution. So that's part of the disclaimer. So there'll be a lot of things that I'm going to share that is absolutely true. If you only want to hear what's expected of 2026, absolutely perfect. There are timestamps at the bottom where you can go straight to hearing my plans for 2026. You don't have to listen to what I'm going to share. It's totally up to you. I just hope that me sharing the story, someone can get something from it, and I get something from it. So yeah, another thing as a disclaimer is this is not scripted. I have not prepared anything like in my other previous videos where I've done planning for this. So a lot of what I'm going to say is off the cuff. If there are any large spaces, I will crop and cut. I'll do editing, but I want to try and keep this as unedited as possible. Besides the title and the timestamp, no music, no background music. I just want to keep it straight and simple. I'm videoing this through my cell phone, no recording software. It's going to go straight. if you hear a bit of a buzzing sound or the bird tooting at the back, that's how it is. Right. So, 2025. If I could put a word to it, and this is probably the only word that I would use, that you might want to cover your child's ears for this one, but if I had to give it a word, it would be shitty. And I think I speak for a lot of people. I speak for myself, but I have heard a lot of people feel the same way as well. Look, I've also heard a few people say it's been a great year, so no judgment on them. But for me, one word, pretty shitty. And for different reasons. So just to give you a bit of context pre-2025 and what I did starting with 2025. 2025, I was doing remote teaching for a company in the UK. So here, me in Quebec, I used to I taught remotely to a company, and I made very good money. Prior to that, I used to teach at a pseudo private school in Port Elizabeth, and the salary over there was getting to a point where I could not support myself, anybody. There was a shortfall coming, so I made the leap of faith by saying that I was going to try it on my own, and I had plans. Homefront came from it as a start because I had a passion for doing some online content creation. I started up a TikTok page, Instagram. The Instagram one unfortunately got hacked like a few times, so the only ones that I really do any sharing on is TikTok and YouTube. And I really, really enjoyed content creation. A lot of the people that I saw on YouTube was my inspiration. Angry Video Game Nerd from Cinemassacre, Death Battle, I think Rooster Teeth were the publishers or the primary people over there. But a lot of people creating content on these on YouTube and TikTok, gave me a passion to do that. But I also had a passion for teaching, and I decided to go remote and taught at with a company that outsourced me to children in Vietnam. So I remote taught. A year later, I picked up a job in the UK, and in comparison to what teachers are being paid in South Africa at this moment, the salary was very good, exceptionally good, and it helped me pay off bills and have a little bit left over. So beginning of 2025, I was still teaching, and it was a good thing that I was teaching remote. And now, if you don't know what remote is, it means remote teaching is where you teach from the comfort of your own home using your laptop. And it was a good thing because at the beginning of that year, I started to have health complications, which when people hear health complications, they think hectic complications, as in, like, I don't know, dying on the spot. But the health complication that I was having was, I won't go into much detail. If you know me personally, you know what it was. But it made, what I can say, it made me practically immobile. That it made it very difficult for me to walk from place to place. Not in a sense of pain, but it became very cumbersome to walk from here to there. So being part of a brick and mortar school would not have been a good thing for me. So the great thing and the blessing that I had was this position. It got to a point where I had to stop leading worship at my church, because it became a point where it was like, pride-wise, it was a bit embarrassing trying to reposition a certain body part to make it easy for me to walk. And I thought that it was not fair on everybody for me to be in that position. And I thought it would be better if I could just deal with my health. And I made my plans to say, listen, in October, I will be back. So the health issue progressed for quite a number of months. In fact, it got to June where this particular health problem got to a point where I had to be taken to hospital. Still, once again, it was not something that was painful, and going from beginning of the year to this point where I had to be booked into hospital, I went to different doctors about what the problem could be. And the weirdest thing was none of the doctors could properly identify what the issue was, which was concerning to me, just for the reasons, of the profession, medical profession. But it was frustrating. I think personally, I got to a point of frustration, real frustration, that nobody could tell me what the heck was going on. So and this was when I was booked into hospital. It was during the June-July month. And the issue with my unique physique, being overweight, is that I was classified as high risk, which meant that if I had to go into surgery, they would probably struggle, or the problem of them keeping me breathing, that would have been highly impossible. So it was serious. But luckily, through a lot of prayer and a lot of intervention, it didn't turn out to be something that was a surgery thing. It was something that could be treated once the specialist finally identified what it really was. And it was treatable in the sense of it drained, and we could take it from there. And from that point, from July onwards, my health has improved, but not to 100%. I would say in percentage-wise, when I was encumbered with this condition, I was probably 30%, maybe 20%. Currently, I would say I'm in the 70s because of the point that I could not. It was too cumbersome to walk. I've had to help myself develop my legs again to be more mobile. So I'm much more mobile than I was, but it's still a progress to get me to the point where I'm mobile. Right, so that's the health thing. And I think June and July, because it was a whole point of frustration from January all the way to June. I think June, July was probably my lowest point, where it was very difficult for, like, it's interesting. It might sound like a segue, but Jim Carrey once put that the difference between sadness and depression is sadness is, oh, I'm sad, but then you pick yourself up. But depression is not like sadness. It's like I don't want to be part of this narrative anymore. I want to be something else. And I think that was my low point, where I got to a point where I was in a state of depression. And I'm just very thankful for friends and family, that specifically friends that stood around me during this time, because without my friends and very close family, I don't think I would be here. I'll be serious about it. So that was my lowest point. So yes, but during the time that I was healthy, I was, encumbered, I could still work. Right. Then so I was booked in on the Monday. I can't remember which date, so please forgive me for that. It was a Monday, and I was released on the Thursday. My wife had to inform my employers, and I call them my employers, and there's a reason why I'm saying that specifically. We'll get to that. So inform my employers that I was in hospital. I'm not sure what the plan is, if they can find people to look after until further notice. Anyway, so Thursday I was back, still a little bit immobile, but still able to do my job, given proper precautions, so I could do that. So I informed my employer that I could go back to my job. On Friday, the teaching organization concerned messaged me and informed me that they would like to have a meeting with me on the Monday if possible. So I said, that is fine. Just want you to know that I can still work. Now, leading up to that meeting on Monday, a few things happened that I thought was very strange. Number one, we had a platform that we could usually go on, and also a business email that we use to communicate with parents and liaise with each other. But I couldn't get onto them. So I thought, okay, maybe my password has expired. I just need to wait on Monday to see if they can reinstate it. So we had a meeting Monday morning, and my employer, still saying my employer because that was how I saw them, because of all the work that I did for them that construed me as an employer, they kindly informed me that my services were no longer required and terminated my agreement with them with immediate effect, which was, at that time, I think, was another big blow. It didn't really sink in until a few weeks later, the severity of it. Now, when they did that, there was no talking of severance packages or anything like that, and they sent me an email saying that I was terminated, like you would send a regular email to anybody, no letterhead or anything like that, with no message of compensation. And after a few exchanges with them, an email explaining to them that, like, if there were, because the reason for the termination was not only because of my health, it was also because apparently there were things that I wasn't doing, or I wasn't doing correctly. And prior to that, to the meeting, a month or two before, my head did say that I needed to improve on a few things. We had one meeting, and the meeting that we had was actually, the main topic was not my performance. It was to inform my employers that, my health is a big issue. I wanted to put them in the know, because I believe in transparency. I don't believe in withholding information from anybody with regards to, if it affects my ability to perform my duties as a teacher. So that was the reason why I had that meeting. But then I think I spoke about it for 10 minutes about my health, explaining to them. And then for 45 minutes after that, it was just explaining to me, critiquing my way of performance. And I said, I took notes. I said, okay, I will do it. I will sort it out. Before that, maybe one email, saying that I need to improve on this. However, when we had the meeting and I queried this and I said that I said that I would do this and this, and it hasn't been enough time for me to get everything set. They said that they have communicated with me in multiple meetings. Now, in my understanding, the multiple meetings mean more than just one meeting prior to that meeting over there. So I did query that. They cut me off, and I said, okay, that's fine. Or sad. And I did make my case, but unfortunately it is what it is. So I think that financially that knocked me. So it was health that knocked me, and then financially there was this, which also knocked me quite a lot. If I can give you any advice to anybody who is thinking of doing remote, please be clear get clarity on what kind of position you have. If it's being employed by the company, or if you are a contractor, if you are employed contractually, as in you're an independent contractor, because they were not clear on that. And like I said, I'm not going to say who this company was, because it's a lesson learned. And what I learned from that is you need to know if you're an independent contractor or an employee. If I knew that I was an independent contractor, there would be a lot of things that I did for that company that I would have asked for remuneration for, that I would get paid by the hour for a lot of things that we established in the year before that. And also make sure that you have everything in writing. One of the things that I screwed up on was that I didn't have it in writing, that I didn't have my employment stated in writing. The other thing, and we'll get to it at the end, is the second mistake that I made throughout this whole process. So anyway, so financially, it was a big thing. And throughout July up to this point, I sent my resume and CV to everybody I could think of, every organization that I found, reactivated my LinkedIn account, just sent my resume, my CV out to everyone. And it was quite impressive that 100% of the callback that I had was these companies that I sent my CV to didn't respond, or they said that I wasn't a proper fit for their company. And it was 100%. I thought that I would be at least shortlisted, so that was quite impressive. So throughout this, we've had to make ends meet. I sold a lot of my assets, including my car, a lot of musical instruments, just to keep afloat. But at this moment, the biggest asset that I have, which is compromised now, is my home, my house. So that is where I stand at the moment, where I'm still between jobs at the moment, with the house that I'm probably going to lose. But all hope is not lost. So the second lesson that I can give you from this whole process is diversify your portfolio. If you're going to do anything remotely, or even if you have a job, find a second on the side job, third one. Okay, don't be stuck in the idea that you have one job and then that's it. Don't ever sign yourself up for something like that. And I think the biggest way that I screwed up was I thought that my job was permanent and there is no job security. I learned that the hard way. So going from a diversified portfolio from teaching at a school in Vietnam and trying to develop content and a brand like Homefront, I decided to put all my eggs in one basket with this company, and yeah, that was not a good idea. So one thing that I've also learned throughout this 6-month process from July, from July up to this point, is that if I cannot find a job, I have to make something for myself. And I have been involved in 1 or 2 initiatives. One is to try and develop wealth instead of just money in a company called Dew Point, which doesn't, in sense, having me promote the product, but just bring people to them. And that has not gone as well as I hoped. It's just because of the economy. I have to be quite honest. I mean, the economy in South Africa is in the trash at the moment, for many reasons, which we will not get into. That's a totally different video that I'm not going to get into now. So yeah. But the one that I am involved in now is to develop my portfolio as a virtual assistant. There are plans for me at the beginning of next year to assist with social media and other businesses, to help them promote them and to assist them. So it's not big money, and I've learned the third lesson that I can probably share with anybody that wants to go into business for themselves or remote business is that nothing is get rich quick. If you are peddled on the idea that you're going to get rich quick, think again. It's going to be a grind. It has been a grind this entire year. I think out of all the years that I've had since I've left school, I think this has been the toughest one when it comes to finances, when it comes to emotions, physical health. I mean, you can even see that my hair has grown out because I've decided that right at the beginning when I lost my job is that I'm not going to cut my hair until I find proper income. And that is where I find myself. It's been a lengthy part to this video, so I don't mind if people skip it. It's absolutely fine. It's totally up to you. So that is my 2025. And if I could, and I'm not the kind of person that will ask for any favors. It's the last thing that I want to do for anybody. But if there's one thing or two things that I could ask you to do, is number one, I would like your prayers, because I do feel that prayer changes the atmosphere, especially when it comes to the will of God over my life. And I think throughout this whole thing, the one thing that I've learned spiritually is that there is a deeper form of faith that I need to draw on. And it's interesting because we think that if we have faith in God, that everything will turn out good for us. And I think that's from what I've learned this year, is that it's a very superficial form of faith. Faith, yes, and God does that. But what I've learned is that there's a deeper kind of faith where if where you need to trust that God's will be done, that His agendas will happen, will be done in spite of where I find myself. If it means that I lose everything, so be it. So be it. If it means that God's will and His agendas be done, then I will take it. I will take the sacrifice. It'll be tough. It has been tough. Many times where I've wrestled with the Almighty and asking Him if this is really the way to go. But I've been doing some studying on a character in the Bible that went through a similar situation, only far worse. And you'd think that he wouldn't go through such a thing because he was more upstanding than I think I am, and that was Job. And Job went through a lot of things. He went through a particular form of I don't know if he suffered from it, but bless him, he had friends around him, and I think those friends had the best intentions, because they said that God doesn't judge those who do evil, that He blesses the righteous, and which sort of felt like, when I was reading it, that his friends were implying that if something was not going according to plan in Job's life, that there must be something wrong with him. But Job kept upright, and he said that whatever happens to him, God's will be done. Look, I'm only through half of it, but I really studying it, but I've read through the whole thing, and it's amazing how Job had a deeper understanding of faith, and I really want to understand that faith. That's my spiritual side. If anybody didn't know, yes, I'm a believer in the one true God, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, father to Jesus Christ, sender of the Holy Spirit, the Trinity, the three in one. And I believe in Jesus Christ. He is my Lord and Savior. And that's the way I am at the moment, where I'm working on that deeper meaning of faith. So if you're out there and you're in the same position, hold on. Just hold on. Right, so enough of 2025. That's where I am. So the first thing I'm asking is for your prayers, guys. And then the second thing I'm asking is for you guys. It sounds very, very like a cop-in or a cop-out, but it really helps if you like my content, subscribe, and also share it, because trying to make my presence known out there is going to help me a lot in establishing the brand. So your prayer is definitely helpful, but if you're looking for more of a proactive approach, please share my content with your friends and family, because you never know. Okay, so that leads me into 2026, guys. And look, I'm not too sure where I'm going to find myself during this year. I'm not sure if a lot of the things that I've planned this year is going to be able to be done, depending on the resources that I have. But I'm going to give you the sort of a rough idea of just a small portion of the plans that I do have in motion, and something that I've been thinking about that I want to have done during this year. These are my plans, and I want you guys to be part of this journey with me as I'm collecting it. So when it comes to content on YouTube, I've veered away a little bit from the music side of everything. just because of this whole saga of 2025. But I do want to try and do a few songs again, but more playthroughs. As you know, I did a few playthroughs of some songs like Tina Turner's Simply the Best, using my mini bass, what do they call them now? My U-bass, my ukulele bass guitar. So I want to do more of that this year, not as many. My main drive is actually on the gaming side, and perhaps punting the trading card game side. By now, if you have seen my content, you should know that I'm a big gamer. I've been focusing a lot on the PS5, but I've seen a lot of other things that I want to also focus on this year that I'm really excited about. But just so that you know, one of the things that you probably see on my channel is Star Trek Mass Effect Season 3. It's going to pop in a few days. And this is the final season of Star Trek Mass Effect, the third season. If you haven't seen seasons 1 and 2, please go have a look at those. This is my love letter to one of my favorite strategy RPGs or action RPGs, whatever you want to call it, space opera. It's my love letter to the game Mass Effect, and Season 3 centers around Mass Effect 3. If you have not played it, I strongly suggest that you do pick up Mass Effect Legendary Edition. It's the best. I would say it's the best version of the game if you want to play it on PS4. And I think it does come on PS5 as well. I'm not too sure. You'll have to check out. So it's my love letter. That's the final season. Last 2025, we finished off on Surviving the Dawn. So playing Horizon Zero Dawn. After Star Trek Mass Effect, Star Trek Mass Effect goes up until April, as you can see. So if I don't have the resources then to carry on, then at least you have content until April, and I hope you enjoy it. After that, I'm in the process of playing through the Arkham series, and then starting playing through the Spider-Man series, the PS4 and PS5 Spider-Man series. That would be Spider-Man, Miles Morales, and Spider-Man 2. But the one I'm currently working on, and I've completed a playthrough of it, is Batman Arkham City. And no, not Arkham City, Batman Arkham Asylum. That's the first one, and I am nearly completed the playthrough of Arkham City. Then what happens with that is I go through, I edit it, and I make sure that it's ready to post. That will probably Arkham Asylum will probably only make way onto the channel at the end of the year. Just to make way for some other content that I want to do. And then my second love letter is to the Final Fantasy series, Frosty Plays. I've made enough content to see all the way up to Final Fantasy IX. On the channel, it's only up to Final Fantasy IV because I still need to edit and lay down everything that I need to do. So hopefully during the year sometime, you get to see Final Fantasy V, and then hopefully Final Fantasy VI, with 2027 seeing Final Fantasy VII and perhaps Final Fantasy VIII. So there's more than enough Final Fantasy for me to carry on. It's my love letter. I plan to the end, my bucket list would be to play all the Final Fantasies up to Final Fantasy 16, with the exception of Final Fantasy 11 and Final Fantasy 14. The reason being is they are online games, and to be quite honest, Final Fantasy 11 has shut down. Final Fantasy 14, A Realm Reborn, I don't have the time. The nice thing about the Final Fantasy series is I have a certain amount of time, whereas these MMOs, you can go so deep into it, and I want to solo these things. I don't want to do the MMO versions of Final Fantasy. So for season 11 and 14, when it does come up, I have something different in store for those, which I hope you're going to enjoy. But that's going to be in the far future. We're only dealing with 2026. So hopefully this year you'll be seeing Final Fantasy 5 and 6 as Frosty players. Then streaming. As I said, it depends on the resource, but you would have noticed that December I didn't do any streaming of Taboo Tuesday and Wednesday Warfare. Those are my two autonomous streaming of my wrestling content from WWE 2K24. Okay, so I use 2K24 because I like it. It's kind of cool. So I will be starting with that in January as well. Taboo Tuesday. I try and do it roughly at the same time, between 9 o'clock and 10 o'clock South African time, but that could change. But it will happen on a Tuesday and will happen on a Wednesday. And to those of you who have viewed it, thank you so much. I hope you're enjoying the content for that. I want to do more streaming. I want to stream other games as well, but that won't be autonomous. That will be me playing it. So we'll be looking into that. I'm thinking of doing some RPG live streamings, maybe of Star Rail, Honkai Star Rail. But also others that I've been putting on the shelf, which I actually want to do for you guys. So I won't tell you what those RPGs are because I don't even know. Hopefully that'll be something that you guys would enjoy. The other thing that I've really picked up now and I have a passion for is all the fan-made content, fan-made games. So those are the ones that are either made by Mugen, which is a platform where people can make their own fighting game, or Open Ball, which is a beat-em-up platform where you can make your own beat-em-ups. And let me be honest, looking at some of these fan-made games, they are impressive. And I want to shed some light on some of that. Also, shed some light on some of the fan-made series on YouTube as well that people have been seeing, but I think more people can see them because I believe they are so good. I think there's a lot of content on YouTube that is like the silent giants, and I want to shed some light on them. So I would like to do a series, hopefully in February, called Fan Made February, where I do a playthrough of some fan-made games, and not on PS5. It'll probably be on PC. But if there is a possibility, I will do a comparison between the paid versions of these games and then the fan-made variants, so you can see so you can see a comparison and see for yourself if you actually want to play these fan-made games. Because I think we should support indie fan-made products, very similar to how Clear Obscure Expedition 33 just board wiped the gaming awards, even though there's a lot of controversy, which we'll not go into that. Maybe if there will be a few, there might be a few recordings where I will also do Is It Worth Playing? Like I'll play through a trial version of certain games, and I'll leave my 10 cents worth and say if it's worth playing. Is it worth buying? Is it something that I want to check out myself? So, that's one of the things that I want to do as well. A lot of plans, and hopefully I get to do some of them. Who knows? So, goodness, this is a bit of a long video. Sorry, guys. So timestamps if you don't want to hear me waffle on. That's good. Right, so I've spoken about the live streaming and Family Wednesday. I do have something that I want to do for March as well. I don't want to tell you what it is because it's a franchise from Capcom that I adored ever since I was a little chippy. playing on my Famicom Nintendo. It was probably one of the most influential games that really got me into gaming at first. And I did a playthrough of the first 6 of those games and their sequels. And I'm going to share it during the month of March. So at least you know what's happening in the month of February and March. Who knows what's going to happen in January? Maybe a lot of streaming. We'll see if everybody enjoys the streaming content that I want to do. That's the gaming side. When it comes to the trading card game, Yu-Gi-Oh, I must say that I want to thank all of you who have liked and shared my video on that branded the branded counters, how to deal with the branded deck. I mean, I didn't expect it to get so many likes. And actually views, let's put it that way. The views have been amazing. I mean, when I saw it last week, it had 80 people view it, which I know it doesn't sound like a lot, but it just gives me satisfaction that a lot of people are viewing. And I hope you guys like the content, even though you don't put a thumbs up over there. If you do like it, please, guys, thumbs up. It goes a long way into self-validation as well. So, Yu-Gi-Oh! Trading card, gaming, and music, I've covered that. Then on TikTok, I'm going to be putting more shorts on there, promoting myself on TikTok. So if you see me there, I'll try and leave my name for TikTok in the description. So if you want to check me out on TikTok, at the moment, up to as of 1st of January, it's a lot of random personal stuff, but I hope you enjoy it, and hopefully I'll get to add more things that are more according to what I want to do this year. Then when it comes to my resolutions, when it comes to finances, I definitely want to diversify my portfolio. So that means that I want at least three different income streams. So just in case one does go pear-shaped, then at least I have another 2 to fall back onto. Make sure I can find the third one with getting something in. So if I can find 3 clients, in fact, that I can work independently for, that would be great. So that is my plan for this year. As I said, it's going to be an interesting year. So to close off, guys, I honestly don't know where I'm going to be at the end of this year. I mean, if you see my background, you'll see that I'm working in the study of my home. At the end of the year, I might be in a different place, might be in a different frame of mind. My hair would either be as down here by then, or it could be short again, because I at least have something to work on. But yeah, in conclusion, I just want to thank all of you for your support and your love and your amazing advice during 2025. And that not only goes to the YouTube support, TikTok support, but everybody else. I pray that 2026 for all of you is going to be a fruitful one. And in the next year, on 1st of January 2027, we'll take a recap of 2026, and we're going to see where we all are at this point. So last thing I want to say is enjoy 2026. If you like the content, please like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. So until next time, guys, This is Frosty8536, Shark Hackart, saying take care of yourselves and each other.